this. We're doing a deep dive today into something.
Oh,
It's huge, government contracting. It feels like this big, complex world if you're on the outside looking in.
it really can be, yeah. We're looking at a presentation here about the LaGuardia Community College Apex Accelerator Program.
Right, and these Apex accelerators, they used to be called PT TAPs, I think.
That's right, yeah, P-TAX. Congress set them up way back in '85. Their whole purpose is basically to be guides, helping businesses figure out this government market.
Okay, so our mission here, using this presentation, is to pull out the key stuff you need. Like, should your business even be looking at government contracts? And if yes, how do you possibly start? Because the numbers,
Yeah. Wow.
they're pretty staggering, aren't they?
Federal government spending like over $600 billion a year.
And that's just federal. You've got New York State, over $6.7 billion. New York City, over $37 billion. Just huge amounts of money being spent.
We're talking hundreds of billions, potentially, just around here. Exactly. And here's the really interesting part, I think. Governments don't just spend. They have specific goals, actual mandates, to work with small businesses, diverse businesses.
Oh, right. Like set-asides.
Precisely. The feds aim for 23% for small businesses overall. New York State has its MWBE goals, minority and women-owned businesses, and also for service-disabled, veteran-owned businesses, SDVOSBs.
And the city, too.
Yep. New York City has significant MWBE goals as well. So you're looking at billions specifically targeted towards, well, maybe businesses just like yours.
So look, on one hand, that sounds like this massive opportunity, potentially game-changing for smaller companies.
It absolutely can be.
But
yeah.
you said it's complex. It's not like selling, I don't know, the widgets down the street.
Definitely not. It's a whole different ballgame. Different rules, different language, different processes entirely. And that's exactly why these Apex accelerators, like the one at LaGuardia, are so important.
Right.
Their job, as this presentation highlights, is to get businesses ready, eligible, and then kind of hold their hand through the process.
Helping them navigate it all.
Yeah, connecting them, building stronger supply chains, maybe even accelerating innovation by bringing in fresh players who might otherwise just find it too daunting. They offer tailored, one-on-one counseling.
Which sounds pretty essential in this kind of environment.
I think so, yeah.
But okay, before we even get to registrations and bids and all that, the source asks a really basic question first, right? Is this even right for your business?
Yes, that's fundamental. Are you actually ready? The presentation talks about being a responsible and responsive vendor. That's the government term.
Okay, what does that mean in plain English?
It boils down to three main things, really. First, organizational capacity.
Your internal setup.
Exactly. Do you have systems? Like, can you actively look for opportunities? Can you put together a detailed proposal? If you win, can you actually manage the contract? Do you have the people?
So it's not just being good at, say, IT services or construction, but having the back end to handle the government process.
You got it. That's crucial. Second is financial capacity.
Money stuff.
Right. Can you float costs up front if needed? Do you have solid accounting? Can you track expenses for this specific project? Manage cash flow while you wait to get paid, which can take time.
Okay, that's a big one. And the third?
Past performance. Governments like proof. Have you done similar work before? Do you have, say, 3 or 4 happy customers who can vouch for you?
Wow, okay. Those are really practical hurdles. It's not just about having a great product or service. You need the business structure behind it.
Definitely. It requires a certain level of operational maturity.
Okay, so let's say you look at those questions and you think, yeah, okay, maybe I can do this. Where do you even start with the official steps? The source seems to break it down.
It does, pretty clearly. 3 main stages, essentially. 1, get registered. 2, pursue the certifications if they apply to you. And 3, find opportunities and market yourself.
Okay, step 1, registration. Sounds like you might need to register in a few places, depending on who you want to sell to.
That's exactly right. Think of it like getting your official company ID for each government entity. For federal contracts, the main place is sam.gov, System for Award Management.
Okay.
A key thing here, the old DUNS number system is gone. Now you need a unique entity ID, a UEI number. You get that directly through sam.gov when you register.
So you don't need to go somewhere else first for that number?
Nope, it's all integrated into SAM now. You'll need your basic business info, tax ID, bank details, and you need to figure out your NAICS codes.
NAICS. Those are the codes for what industry you're in, right? What you sell.
Exactly. North American Industry Classification System helps them categorize vendors.
Okay, so that's federal. What about state and city, New York specifically?
Right. For New York State, you need to be registered with the Secretary of State, obviously, and then there's their VendRep system for vendor responsibility.
VendRep, got it.
For New York City, there's the NYC Payee Information Portal, or PIP, and then the big one is NYC Passport, which is their main procurement portal.
Passport, okay. Lots of acronyms.
Huh? Yes. Welcome to government contracting. And yeah, places like Nassau and Suffolk counties will have their own registration processes, too.
So step one is figuring out your target federal, state, city, county, and getting your basic business registered in their system.
Precisely. It's the absolute first step, your ticket to play.
Okay. Step two, you said, was certifications. And you mentioned earlier the government has goals for small and diverse businesses. This feels like where that connects.
It absolutely connects there. Certifications are, well, they're often crucial for tacking into those specific goals and opportunities.
Like the set-asides you mentioned.
Exactly. Some contracts are only open to certified businesses. Or sometimes, below certain dollar amounts, agencies can award contracts directly sole source if you have the right certification. It's a major way they meet those MWBE or SDVOSB targets.
So it's a strategic advantage.
Definitely. There are lots of different certifications, federal, state, local, all designed for different kinds of businesses.
Okay, maybe instead of listing every single one, what are the main types? Like what groups are they generally for?
Good way to think about it. You've got certifications based on ownership, primarily. So minority and women-owned, the MWBE programs you see at the state and city level are huge. Federally, there's WSB, Women-Owned Small Business, and EdWSB for economically disadvantaged ones.
Okay, ownership by women or minorities.
Right. Then you have veteran-owned businesses, particularly service-disabled veterans, SDVOSB federally, SDVOB in New York State. Big focus there.
Got it. Veterans.
Then there are location-based ones, like the federal Hub Zone program.
Hubby zone.
Historically underutilized business zones, trying to drive economic activity into specific geographic areas.
Interesting. Location matters too.
It can, yeah. And then there are broader programs like the federal 8A Business Development Program. That's for small disadvantaged businesses, offers set-asides, but also mentorship and business development help over several years.
Okay, so certifications aren't just one thing. They're specific tools tied to ownership or location or disadvantaged status. And they open different doors depending on which government level you're talking about.
Exactly. You don't need them all, maybe none apply, but you need to know they exist and see which ones might fit your business strategically.
And figuring out which ones you qualify for and how to actually get certified, that sounds like where Apex Accelerators really help.
That's a core part of what they do, guiding you through eligibility. It usually involves things like, who owns the majority, who controls the day-to-day, your business size, sometimes personal net worth limits, but the details vary a lot, program by program.
Okay, so
Yep.
registered, check. Certified, maybe, check. What's step 3 again?
Step 3 is finding opportunities and marketing, getting the actual work.
Right.
And what's really interesting here, something the source really stresses, is that it's not just about scrolling through bid websites. It starts with research, proactive research.
Research how? Like, what are they buying?
Yes, but specifically, look at past awards first. Who already won contracts with the agencies you want to work with? What did they sell? For how much?
Oh, that's clever. See who your competition might be or what they actually spend money on.
Exactly. See what's realistic. The presentation lists resources like sam.gov again, usaspending.gov, Checkbook NYC for city spending, OpenBook NY for state. You can see the history there.
Understand the past before you try to get future work.
Yeah.
Smart.
Right. Then you look at current opportunities. Things listed right now on sites like the NYC City Record Online, the NYS Contract Reporter, or using the forecast tools on sam.gov. See what's actively being sought in your field.
Okay, find the current postings.
Yes. But here's the kicker, the big insight from the source. Certification does not guarantee opportunity.
Ah, okay. That seems really important. Getting the badge doesn't mean work just lands in your lap.
Not even close. You have to actively, as the source puts it, get notice.
Market yourself.
Yes, market to the agencies, use that research you did, understand their problems, their needs, then go meet with agency folks, the procurement officers, the program managers. Show them how your business solves their specific problem.
So it's relationship building, networking, like in the private sector, but with government buyers.
Absolutely. It's about building trust and getting insights you won't find just reading a solicitation document.
And how do you make that approach? What tools do you need?
A key tool is your capability statement.
Okay, what's that?
Think of it as your business resume, specifically for government buyers. Short, focused, usually one page, front and back, maybe. It needs to highlight your relevant past performance, show you have the capacity we talked about, list your NAICS codes and any certifications, and crucially state what makes you unique. What's your niche, your differentiator?
Tailored to the government audience.
Totally. The source is blunt. Don't just rely on certifications. You need this statement. And having a dedicated government section on your company website is a good idea too.
That makes sense. The source also mentioned something called micro purchases. Are those important?
Yeah, great question. That can be a really good entry point.
How so?
Well, governments have spending thresholds below which the buying process is much simpler, less formal, fewer hoops to jump through.
Ah, okay. Easier to get started.
Exactly. For the feds, the micro purchase threshold is currently $10,000. Often just needs a credit card purchase. There's also a simplified acquisition threshold up to $250,000. Both of these fall under those small business goals we mentioned.
So smaller businesses have a real shot there.
Yes. And New York State and City, they have higher discretionary purchasing limits specifically for certified MWBEs. Agencies can often award contracts directly without a full competition, up to several $100,000 in some cases, if they find a qualified certified firm.
Wow, okay, so that's a huge potential benefit of certification right there. A way to get your foot in the door, build that past performance record.
Exactly. Find the right-sized opportunities to start and grow from there. The source also gives some pretty straightforward do's and don'ts.
Always useful. What are the big ones?
On the do side, definitely do your homework, that market research. Do get registered, get certified if it makes sense for you. Do network, build those relationships. Do keep all your company info, registrations, everything current and accurate. Outdated info can kill a deal. And critically, do understand the customer. What are their pain points? How do they buy? What's their agency culture like?
Makes sense. And the don'ts. What should you avoid?
Don't try to be everything to everyone. Focus on your core strengths, what you do best that matches their needs. Don't let your registrations or certifications expire. Keep them active.
Right. Maintenance is key.
Huge. Don't just show up cold approach decision makers after you've done your research with that tailored capability statement and a clear idea of how you can help them. And don't wait till the last minute on anything. This is a long game, requires proactive effort.
These sound like good business sense generally, but maybe just amplified, more critical when dealing with government rules and processes.
I think that's a fair way to put it. The stakes are high and the processes are specific.
And to really bring it home, the source wraps up with some actual success stories, right? Proof that this works.
Yeah, they do. Really powerful examples, like a woman-owned business in Manhattan landed a contract over $256 million with Health and Human Services for medical gowns.
Wow. $256 million.
Right. Think about that in terms of supply chains, resilience. And another one, a Queens business owned by a service-disabled vet. Over $90 million with the Department of Defense for industrial products.
$90 million. Incredible.
And it's not just huge federal deals. They mention a Queens minority woman-owned business got their very first Port Authority contract for $50,000. Used their certifications, did the networking.
Okay, so it spans the range. Massive federal contracts down to sort of entry-level local ones.
Exactly. It shows that businesses are winning these contracts at all levels by following the process, putting in the effort, and crucially, using resources like the Apex Accelerator. The presentation mentions names, Nelson Ortiz and the team there. These are the folks providing that tailored guidance.
Real people helping real businesses navigate this.
That's the picture it paints, yeah.
So, okay, let's try to wrap this up. Bringing it all together from this deep dive. What does this really mean for you listening right now?
I think it means that, yes, government contracting is huge, and yes, it has its own complex rules, but it's also an intentional market. There are specific paths created for small and diverse businesses to participate.
Right. It's not designed to lock you out, even if it feels complicated.
Exactly. It requires learning the steps, registration, maybe certification, definitely research and marketing, but it's learnable. It's not some impenetrable fortress.
And that's where programs like the LaGuardia Apex Accelerator and others like it across the country come in. They exist specifically to help you figure it out.
To demystify it, provide that one-on-one help to see if you're ready, guide you through the registrations, the certifications, help you position your business.
They're the bridge, kind of.
That's a good way to put it. Bridging the gap between what your business does well and what the government needs to buy.
So given that scale, those hundreds of billions we talked about every year, and the clear government goals to work with businesses like yours, here's something to think about. What does your business offer? What essential goods, what services do you provide that could fit into these government needs? Maybe it's supporting those resilient supply chains they talked about, or advanced tech, or just the everyday stuff agencies need to run. Could you tap into this massive market?
It's a powerful question.
And if the answer is maybe, or even just, I want to find out, what's your next concrete step? Your very first move to explore that potential? Maybe. Maybe it's reaching out to a resource like the ones we talked about today.